Hello, and this is a micro lesson on how to complete your poetry assignment for ESLDO and ESLEO students. So our learning goals: by the end of this presentation, students will be able to complete each component of their poetry assignment. They'll be able to find a poem and complete the written analysis, create a visual that represents the poem, record a reading of the poem, show the visual and explain how the visual relates to the poem, and watch a classmate's recording and complete a viewer response. So review the assignments on Google Classroom, and they're examples of each completed assignment posted. ESLDs, you'll complete the assignment with the blueprint, and ESLEs, you'll complete the assignment with the brown print. So 1, find a poem and complete a written analysis. Students, you find a poem that's meaningful to you. We've done some poem finding in class before, but these two websites make it a little bit easy because you can do a search for a theme or an idea that you have an interest in. So you can search for a topic, a keyword, a poem, or a specific poet, but your poem has to be 12 lines long. I don't think it needs to be longer than 24 lines. 12 to 18 lines is probably the best size. List your poem on the sign-up sheet on Google Classroom. 2, create or choose a visual that represents the main idea or theme of the poem. So you can create your visual. You can draw a picture, create a 3D object and take a picture of it, or you may borrow. You can choose an image created by someone else, but you should personalize it in some way. For example, you could put a few lines of the actual poem right on the image to really make it a little bit more original. But note, a borrowed image will receive a lower grade than an original image because there's a lot less work involved. Write a brief explanation of the concept of visual interpretation and include a works cited for any borrowed information as well as for the poem. 3, record yourself reading the poem and show the visual. So create a 1 or 2 page presentation and paste the poem and the visual in the presentation. The only thing you're looking at right now in the presentation is the reading of the poem and the discussion of the visual. So you can use a screen recording program to record the presentation and your voice. There are many screen recording programs, either the 2i like Screencast-O-Matic or Screencastify. So here's an example of your presentation. On one half, you see I have the poem visual, and then I have the explanation. And this is a picture that I borrowed, but I also borrowed this picture here. On my works cited, I would include these 2 images. I liked this one because it had similar colors to this one, and you can see the 2 paths based on the poem. And I also added in 2 lines from the poem to make it a little bit more original. So the road not taken, I'm not going to read the whole thing, I'll just read the first stanza. The road not taken by Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. So that's the idea here. You read the poem, and then you look at your image, and you talk about how your image relates to the poem. So this visual is a collection of images and lines from the poem that illustrate the simple message of the verse, the road not taken. Everyone must make difficult choices in life. The dual path represents a difficult but inevitable choice. No one can go down both paths, and so on. So you would read your whole explanation of the visual, and you would read your poem. 4, complete a viewer response. So all presentations will be posted on Google Classroom. Watch one of your classmates' presentations and complete the viewer response questions. It doesn't matter if you're doing ESLD or ESLE for this section. So the viewer response form will look like this. I've broken it into 2 pieces, but it'll be one long form with your first and last name, the presenter name, title of the poem, what's the most memorable aspect of the recording. Paste 2 lines from the poem that are memorable to you here. What did you learn about the theme of the poem? And what is one suggestion you can give to help the person improve their reading? You can discuss maybe their voice, maybe they need to be louder, or maybe their presentation, the text might have been larger. Maybe the poem they picked didn't really capture the theme. Whatever you feel that you can give a little bit of a constructive criticism to help them for improving going forward. So that's about it. Good luck with your assignment and take good care of yourself during this time, and we'll be back together very soon. Miss Best.